Hi, everybody. I'm the turtle. Oh, I probably shouldn't have said that either because they probably caught it live. I
Great,
don't know. It's
cancel.
not even showing it. Here we go again. I love doing this stuff all the time because it always does this. Hold on a second. I had to find where it's at. The thing's not showing. It already has me. So where is it? Oh, it shows it right now. Woohoo!
It said live on my end.
Good. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me at all?
Yes.
All right. I'm trying to what the delay is. You're like yes to everything.
Yes.
All right. Let's look at it this way. So that way I can. All right, I don't want to stare at that one. I'll look at this one. Let's switch over to here. I don't know why it does that. There's always a delay. All right, let's see. I'm trying to piece out the delay. I think we have like a 5 to 7 second delay. I'm
I feel like
using
that
my
might be.
hands to see. Oh wow, it's there we go. So it's probably like a 10 second delay. So that's fun.
Damn, it's a little laggy.
Yeah, it is, and I'm not sure why. Everything's like hardwired in, so that's weird. But whatever, I guess. I'll, I'll take it.
Roll with.
So, hey everybody that sees us like delayed. Um, Let me see if I can get this. Why is it not making it? I feel like it's not making it open. There we go. No wonder why I know I can see it because it only has. It should be able to share now. Let me refresh. Why do I? I haven't done this in a minute, and you can clearly tell. There we go. Should work now. Does it? You doesn't show on your end if it shows share, does it?
It doesn't say anything.
Well, it's shared on mine. Someone already commented.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it says you can support me by sending stars. I forgot that I had that because I was doing so many of them last year. Remember, I kept spitting out lives like
Right.
multiple times a week, and then that gave me that thing where you can earn stars. And then I kind of went MIA after the new year. I'm
There was
back.
like where is she? Anybody heard from Lacey?
I think like one star is like a penny or something. I don't. I didn't really read all this schematics on how it works, but whatever. I guess now that it's live, it's probably about a 5 second or less delay.
Okay.
I'm
On
watching yours and I'm watching us, and then I'm watching us on the live to see, and it shows about 5 seconds,
oh, yeah. On
and
an
it
unre
looks.
I know you keep talking shit about your haircut because you say you look like a Karen, but I've been trying to grow a mullet and it looks stupid because it's like
I've
halfway there.
seen that.
I look like a baby
What
coyote.
what inspired the mullet cut?
What inspired my mullet?
Let's talk
Well,
about
let's unpack that. Well,
it.
like I said, I was in the military up until April, and then now that I'm not, and I can do whatever I want again, I'm like, you know what? I think I'm gonna grow a mullet just because I can. And I don't know. I'm very on the fence with it.
How do you feel? Like when you first got it and you had that first look in the mirror, what was your first thought?
I was like, okay, I see potential. I don't know what that potential could be, but I see potential for something. I think I was just like, I need to let it grow a little more, see if I really grow into it.
I suppose, but if you start looking like Joe Dirt, I'm gonna judge you.
Um,
So, outside of that, I know you've been doing cosplay. You went to a con.
I did.
So, tell me a little bit about it.
So that was my first con ever, and there was an incentive behind it. There was like an amateur cosplayer category, and I'm like, well, I'm technically an amateur because I've never competed. After reading the rules, it said you can never like have competed in this to be considered like a novice. That's what the category was.
Yeah.
So that's where I revamped my my Pyramid Head helmet, and yeah, I showed up and I didn't win, which is fine. Like there was people that were novice that had done like some crazy, great, elaborate costumes. So the fact that I didn't win, I wasn't mad about it, but it was a fun experience overall. You know, I had never been to a convention and see how much. I guess I could say I've learned a lot from cosplayers in making costumes, props, and uh, effects myself. Because it's just a hobby, but it's a fun one to
Yeah.
have.
All right. And what do you see yourself doing when it comes to cons in the future?
I think I would try again on a competition level, only because I know cosplayers get really into it. They'll like invest so much money into and creativity. A lot of creativity goes into it. You need a vision, you need funds, and you need talent. And kind of like when all those three come together, it'd be something I'd like to try again for sure.
What are your goals next for cosplaying as?
I haven't really set anything in stone, but with November rolling around, that's around the month of Day of the Dead, and I've been having something brainstorming brewing in my head for a while about it, and I figured that'd probably be something I'd like to try next.
That'll be fun. Different. And while we're on the subject, I'm actually going to post some pictures of the different ones you've dressed up as, and then you can give me a little more information about them. They're going to be in the comment section for everyone to read or look at, I should say, not read. But yeah, so we're just going to jump into it. The first one is actually going to be, let's see. I like that there's options. Hold on. Let me get this on there. Maybe. Oh man. Here comes the old lady moment where I can't figure out what I'm doing with my phone.
Hello,
How do you get this thing on?
where am I?
Why is it not giving me? It's not giving me the option. That's odd. It's letting me post stickers. How weird. Let's try. I knew we should have probably tested this out before we get in there. All right, well, we'll do it this way. I'll post them when we get done with our chat. But
Yeah,
what
Monique.
we'll do is we're going to cut corners and do it. Well, I guess I could do it this way. Let me see. Where are we? It's always fun to learn things while you're doing stuff. Yay. No, just get me out of there. Oh, and my thing went blank. There we go. Oh my god. Why is this so difficult? All right, here we go. We're going to do your Greek one first. I'm going to show it on here. Hopefully everyone can see it. If not, I will post it later.
Oh, my Greek god.
There we go.
Okay.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about that one.
Yeah, let's unpack that one. So I have done a similar one like that a few years back, like in 2020, I believe, and it was honestly just me messing with the prosthetic beard placement, and then I'm like, you know what, I could probably make a Greek god out of this. And then years later down the line, for my 27th birthday, I themed my birthday party as like ethereal Greek god of white and gold type of thing, and everybody got into it. It was pretty cool. But of course, like being the birthday boy, I was like, oh, maybe I should amp it up a bit. So I revamped the Greek god Jesus Sistine Chapel painting look. Very ethereal, very, very, very Greek god, I guess I should say.
It is. It's very angelic, but very masculine. It balances out.
I like that. I like
And then moving on to the next one, huh?
I said like Zeus.
Yes, like Zeus. The next one's kind of self-explanatory, but I want you to elaborate a little bit more on it. It's a Beetlejuice meets mariachi.
So
all right.
You see that green mullet? It was like
Yes.
beats Joe Dirt more like.
We're gonna try to zoom in on it so everyone can see a little bit more. I just gotta get my angles right. So I just don't want it to light. I feel like you could see it without it being so reflective.
Yeah, I'm sure people will be able to see it in the comments, but
Well, I'm gonna post it. Yeah, after the live, I'll post it in the comments.
yeah, people can gawk at it later in all my glory. No, it was I don't know. I styled this green wig, and it looked like a mullet because like I have a very what's the opposite of a receding hairline?
Good question.
Yeah, well, I don't have a receding
Here.
my hairline is like super close to my forehead, so I had to like really glue down like a lot of like the side of my head to give myself like a more ample face, I should say. So it ended up looking like a green mullet, and I actually liked it. It looked like half Joe Dirt, half Beetlejuice. I liked it. I don't know. And then I
The
added,
stash is what got me. It
yeah,
looks good. It's all pieced well together, but the stash is where my eyes went. Wait.
I think what it is like I've started adding mustaches as a staple on any costume for some reason. I don't know. It kind of works sometimes.
I like it. Works out. And hey Mo, I see that you're on here. I had a moment of where I couldn't figure out any of my technology, so sorry to everyone that's watching off and on here, or that watches it later. You're gonna see that. All right. So the next one is the Silent Hill.
Yes, Pyramid Head. Cannot explain how that was like the beginning of like my fitness journey. So like walking around shirtless, I was like, oh my god, I feel weird. Like I'm half naked.
What inspired you to go for that with the pyramid?
So funny thing about it is I was actually inspired by female Pyramid Head cosplayers because they amp it up. They make it go all out. It looks so dope. And I'm like, you know what? I think I can amp it up because like I got a few friends that have done female Pyramid Head cosplays, and their helmets look so much better than mine. Like I'm by no means like super talented or whatnot, so it was like great reaching out to them, people who have done Pyramid Head cosplays before. I'm like, yo, what did you do as far as like getting the right angles, making sure that the sides you can see out but nobody could see in, like what did you do for that type of thing. And I don't know if you've seen any female Pyramid Head cosplayers, but they look so much better than like the original.
There's one I caught that was like hot pink.
Oh yeah,
Loved
like the
it.
bar.
Loved it. Yes.
Yeah.
I thought that was amazingly done, and whoever did that, talented, ridiculously talented. Because that was just, I loved it. It was like, what is it that I always tell Mo? It's one of those, elegant spooky.
Yeah, dead but delicious.
Yeah. All right, and the next one's kind of a given. Everyone that knows this band, this is kind of their signature, but it's actually one of your favorite bands as well. But a little bit of Ghost.
Oh yeah, so that was the last. I think you can see the mask back here. This one specific. Yep. Yeah, right there. And then I got the female one right there. But the last Ghost concert I went to, I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna cosplay as one of the former ghouls. Everybody loved it. Everyone was like, "Hey, can I take a picture with you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." Just here to watch the show, but yeah, sure. And it was getting a full cosplay for that show. I think was a mistake because it was so hot. I almost died. I remember one guy was like, "Hey, congrats on keeping that on the whole show." I'm like, "Thanks, I'm dying."
Like, do you have any water for me? That would be great.
Right. I'm like one White Claw deep, and I'm like, I can't. I need water.
But that's cool. The pictures you always do, they come out amazing. I know with the Ghost one in particular, you at the time you were experimenting with light, and the way you experimented with them came out very well. I do know, I believe you still have them on your Instagram, right?
Probably, yeah, actually.
And it is the same handle as what you have here.
That's correct.
All right, so people can go follow and check out your stuff.
If you guys are in.
Everyone's into that stuff. And even ones that don't say it publicly, they're into it. They're into the creepy stuff. They're into the cool shit.
I think there's a little bit of wanting to be scared in all of us. I
I
might have
think
stolen.
so. You might have what?
I might
Your
have
audio
stolen.
cut out.
I said I might have stolen that from a movie.
It does sound like it came from a movie,
It
but I can't.
does. I'm a fraud.
But while we're on the subject of movies, let's talk about it. There is some bangers of horror movies that are out now and coming out. I don't know about you. I know Mo that's on here. She don't no spoilers, but she watched Talk to Me. Have you seen it yet? I haven't. I want to.
Yeah, I watched it.
You watched it? All right. Thumbs up or thumbs down? Just your opinion. Thumbs up or thumbs down?
Oh God, it's one of really wanted to give it a up, but like it was thumbs down. I wanted to like it. I really did, but I was just very good concept. It was just delivered very. I should say.
Your visual is breaking up just a little bit.
You.
Like you're a little delayed.
Can
you hear me?
But now.
You're frozen.
Oh no! I made it worse.
Like, you're
Damn
frozen
it.
and pixeled.
Great.
Mo, if you're still on here, can you see on both videos? I know you'll say something in the chat. I'm just waiting to see what she says. Because you're slowly coming back from being pixeled. I can see like your eyes move. You're not frozen anymore. Yay!
Yay! We did it. It's just two old women trying to figure out Zoom. This is what the show.
Oh man, imagine if I was like I had like some wine or something. This would be hilarious.
I got a vodka tonic, so we're halfway there.
I just have this is my designated water bottle.
Love that.
Trick or treat. Well, you get older, you got to keep hydrated. I feel like I just dry out like an old sponge, which is ridiculously hilarious, but it's being honest. Huh?
I said the older we get, we turn into raisins.
Pretty much, that's how I feel. But back to the movie, you wanted to give it a thumbs up, but you were giving it a thumbs down.
Yeah, it was a movie that had a concept that was really good. I think the delivery of that concept was just not good. Does that make sense? So,
yeah, it makes sense.
Exactly. It was like a movie that had a concept that was so cool that I wanted to like it. I really wanted to get into it. I really wanted to grab that hand by my hand. But
I was reading about it. I almost bought it last night. Because I don't like going to the theaters that much. I prefer more sitting in the comforts of my own home and watching a movie. But I was looking at it, and it's not bad. $20, you own it. But my thing is that, like, what if I don't like it? Or what's happened to me before, because I did Evil Dead Rise, and then 2 days later, it was streaming. And I was upset, because I'm like, dude, had I known, I wouldn't have bought it. I would have waited the 2 days. So that's where I'm on the fence about it. But reading a little bit about it, I'm a little curious. Because I thought it was just a wooden carved hand that these kids were grabbing. And it turns out that it's basically like a taxidermied hand. And that piqued my curiosity because it's kind of the same equivalent as using a Ouija board, but only you're using a hand. So that piqued my curiosity. And Monique said, I have begged her to go to the theaters with me. Yeah, I'm not a fan of theaters. I went and seen this year's Scream 6 in the theaters with them. That was my only time I went out to the theaters.
How was that experience?
It was fine. I think I'm one of those bougie girls when it comes to theaters. I want the ones that give you like the filet mignon, the wine. You can sit back in a recliner, all the comforts of home. You know, like that's what I want.
Are you going to? How?
They have them in Scottsdale and Phoenix in that area, and they have them where you can get all that. And not here. Like I guess the closest I can get here is like the projector out back. Like, just off of a recliner. Like it's movie night on the property. But no, it was fine. I'm not a big fan of actual theaters because you can't really like if you got to get up and go to the bathroom, you can't pause anything. You have to just miss whatever, and you could walk in and walk out and miss like a crucial part of the movie.
Oh yeah.
So I'm just weird. And then as I've gotten older, I tend to more be home. I like it. It's comfortable. It's peaceful. I enjoy it. But
No,
the one I do want to see, and I would probably go into theaters to see, is the new Exorcist because they brought back the original actress,
mhm.
and not only do they have one, but they have two that are possessed at the same time. So that looks really interesting, and I believe it's a Blumhouse production, so they usually put out some pretty good stuff.
Yeah, yeah. So wait, I think I need a little more elaboration. Is it tied into like the original Exorcist? Oh, okay. That's interesting. I
How
just
did
hope
you miss this? You had to watch the preview. When we get done tonight, you need not preview the trailer. When we get done tonight, you need to watch the trailer. You're gonna love it.
I might because I almost fought a girl at work because her and this other dude were like talking about how great the Pope's Exorcist was. And so I'm like, okay, well, I guess it's on Netflix. I guess I could give it a shot. Then I watched it and I was so disappointed. It was so corny. Cornisha Williams, I'm telling you, corny as
See,
fuck.
I liked it. I liked it. I rented it, and then it came out on Netflix. I just that's my luck. That's how it goes. Yeah, I seen that on the thing, and I was like, "You mf'er!" Like
If I ever
literally within 24 hours, I was so disappointed.
if
What
I ever
happened?
need if I ever need something to stream, I'm just gonna hit you up and be like, hey, could you rent this real quick? So the next day I
It
could stream.
always happens without fail. But no, I actually watched it with Mo. She was down visiting, and I liked it. I genuinely liked it. But I like that old school stuff that they based off the old book, the old, before they started watering it down and putting their different things. And I'm not trying to get like, you know, really religious or anything like that, but they went off of the old book, and I liked that because they tied in some truth with actual, with their story, and I like that. Now, I don't really. I think they could have changed some different actors, swapped them out for other people, but
Yeah.
whatever. That's not my thing, but just my opinion. But I did like it. The one that I didn't like is they had another exorcism one that was down in I know not in Mexico, but it's in that same region. And the Exorcism of God. Mo helped me out on that. I watched that. Didn't like it. Did not
Mm.
like it. Did you watch it?
No, but I've never even heard of it. So
I think it was in Spain that there all these things were taking place. Well, my thing with that is like one, Spain, what's going on? Why are we having all these demons?
what they're like right they're closer to Italy than anywhere else.
Yeah. Well, I know that on one of them they were saying that and I would have to look to see if there's any truth to that because that always piques my curiosity. But one was saying that like that's where a lot of like some of your scrolls and stuff like that were placed was in Spain to hide them.
Which
So I don't know
scroll?
if I don't know. That's why I said I'd have to look to read more, but it definitely piqued my curiosity because I'm like, well, that would explain why like a lot of the stuff does take place in Spain because you know they're heavy on religion there and probably feels more protective hiding some of these things, I would assume. But it's definitely something that piqued my interest. Not enough where I'm gonna like fly over there and go through caves and tunnels and like find out because then
You're gonna
no
walk
one
in
would ever
with your
see me.
the metal sticks. You're like, is anybody here?
Those sticks would probably be spinning like crazy.
Right.
I would have them on my hands for all of 2 seconds. I would drop them and run. Like this isn't happening. Not here. Not today. Um,
Right.
and then let's see what else. I watched that earlier this year. I don't know if you've seen it. We just talked about it. Mentioned it earlier. Evil Dead Rise. That was actually pretty good. I like
Yeah.
that.
I tried to do a reaction video on it, and then YouTube was like, "Oh, you're copywriting." I'm like, "Okay." So I got a strike, and I had to take down my videos. I'm like, "All right, cool, sure."
And then the other one that I watched was on Hulu, and it was No One Will Save You. It's an alien-based movie.
I just watched that.
I liked it, but I was also scared because anyone that knows me, terrified of aliens.
And owls, because somehow they're connected.
What?
Owls too, because somehow they're connected.
But see, that's weird because I have heard about that. Love owls and like
You
aliens. Yeah, I do. I mean, seen them around the house. Absolutely love that. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm probably gonna be freaking myself out later tonight. Um, but I do
you
love
and
them.
Alien.
I know. I'll be like, oh man. But no, like I don't know where we're from. Where we've seen weird stuff, and they don't really have an explanation of why what we've seen out, off roading or whatever the case is. I've always been the person that I'm not going to go out and try to like flash it with like a laser or you know what I mean. I'm not doing any of that. I respect enough to know that like, cool, you do your thing. I'm going to do mine, and that's that. But with that being said, watching those movies during the day, I'm good. If I try to watch it before going to bed, no. Disney Channel's on in my room, night lights on. I'm up my husband's butt. Like I am terrified.
That's
But anyways, aside from that, did you like it? Like, or
I initially liked it. I think it was just the
you
back
like
end.
the idea of it?
Yeah, because I was like,
Okay.
honestly, I saw the trailer for it and I got hyped instantly. I'm like, whoa, they're taking a modern spin on home invasions and making it an actual alien invasion. I'm like, fuck yeah, let's do it. Let's watch it. And then I watched it and I'm like, wow, that looked better advertised than it was a movie.
I liked it. The ending is what got me a little confused.
Yes.
I had to what I thought it was. I actually messaged my older sister and because I know she watched it, and I was like, "Hey, am I right on this?" Because I wasn't too sure. And she's like, "Yeah," she goes, "That's what I took away, the same thing." And I'm like, "All right, cool." I don't want to spoil it for anyone that watches it, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. But the ending did have me a little like, "What? Like, what's going on?"
It's kind of reminiscent of Jordan Peele's Nope at the very end, where we're like, what? What's going on?
I loved that movie, but I like anything Jordan Peele does. I all of his movies, his rendition of Twilight Zone. I love all of it. Um, I like how he does a twist on things and makes you think. I will say, it did that movie's been out for over a year now, so there's really no spoilers. If you haven't watched it, sorry, but
Right.
if you look at the alien ship, whatever, that's when it gets you. And I liked how they dragged, like you didn't figure it out until later, like almost towards the end. So I like that. However, I still never understood really the whole thing with the chimpanzee going ballistic during a show back in the 80s and 90s. I couldn't understand what the tie-in with that was at all. I get that the girl was there watching, like the rodeo UFO roundup, but like, what did the chimpanzee going on a mass crazy spree have to do with this? I couldn't understand.
I guess, and only because this is something I do now. Anytime I watch a movie and it confuses me, I like to go on YouTube and see endings explained. Like, for example, Nope, ending explained, or No One Will Save You, ending explained. Because when I'm too stupid to know the ending of it, I need somebody else to explain it for me. So YouTube is the greatest.
I asked my older sister, I'm like, hey, Tanya, like, help me out here. I can't figure it out. But that was the only one I didn't understand. What I thought was interesting is when they pull them up in the one scene from like their little rodeo arena, like they're basically getting sucked up in what appears to look like a butthole, and they're going through traveling the intestines. That's what it reminded me of.
Yeah, okay, it's a biomechanical thing, so I'm thinking it's part alive, and it looks like a butthole.
Well, it was something like that. That's what it looked like to me, and I was like, okay, this is.
It eats backwards. It eats from the ass and poops out the mouth.
Yeah. But not a bad movie. I liked it. I can say out of all of his movies so far, my favorite one is I'm torn between Get Out and Us.
I think I liked Get Out more than Us. Us was a little. I guess this is gonna be not as profound as I usually am, but it was too deep. You know, like there was too much um too much
Political.
image that if you no too much imagery that if you didn't catch on from the beginning, you're not gonna get it unless somebody explains it for you. And I think that's my own personal thing is that like I like to be brain dead when I'm watching TV. I don't want to think. I just want to watch and be entertained. That's my
No, it makes
downfall.
sense. No, it makes sense. I like ones that I feel more engaged because other times if I'm not, I'm asleep. And then I wake up and I think I missed something, and then I have my husband like, "Hey, welcome back to the real world." Like,
You know how many memes I get tagged in where it's that alien where it's like you're not even watching the movie. It's like yes I am. It's like me, and then it's that alien's like it's me.
that was me last night. I was so tired. I knocked out within like minutes. I hit the bed and I was done. I had the Outer Limits on, and I think Ronnie mentioned something about doing some online shopping because he wasn't tired yet. And I
That's
was,
when they're
I was out. Um, for horror movies, outside of that, I think that's all that's really caught in my attention. Anything that you've seen or seen previews for that's caught in your attention? Anything?
no, everything has been pissing me off. It's been actually I have started the Saw, you know,
Mm-hmm.
the Saw franchise all over
Franchise?
again. Saw X is coming out, and even though they say like you don't have to watch the whole franchise to enjoy this one because it takes place between Saw 1 and Saw 2, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, you know what? I never gave it a chance after 5, so I might as well finish the franchise before Saw 10 or Saw X, I should say. And so I started that again, and I'm actually kind of anticipating Saw X. And then I did see the announcement for the new Alien movie, which I'm very excited for, but that doesn't come out until next year. So right now, it's not really even on my radar.
And I forgot about one. Eli Roth's Thanksgiving. It comes out, I believe, before Thanksgiving in November.
All right, could you give us a synopsis?
Well, in the trailer that I watched, it really doesn't give you a whole lot. It basically cuts to like a small town back east during Thanksgiving time. All of a sudden, it just cuts to people slowly getting murdered in different places. And it has a guy talking in the background. You see him sitting at a table towards the end, and it says like what I love about Thanksgiving, something like that. Everyone comes together, and then it cuts to the Thanksgiving promo
Okay,
when it'll be out.
sounds like a
But
teaser
Eli
trailer.
Roth always puts out good stuff too. I mean, he's one of my favorites. So
Did
I
you
like
watch?
it. Old?
Yeah.
Was that by
Then
him? Because I thought that was M Night.
you're right. I'm sorry. I'm confusing them.
No, that's fine. I did watch it. I did like it. It dragged on for a little bit, but then once the storyline picked up more, then it made sense. And parts of it was, man, it was a little cringy to watch. Not cringy like bad, but cringy like scary.
Yeah, it definitely made you squirm a little bit. I
Yeah,
think it's
I was.
because what did he put out that he gets a bad rap for? Is the one where the girl gets anaphylactic shock and she sticks her head out the window to get some air and then
Hereditary.
Hereditary.
Man, that stuff was crazy.
That movie was so good, so good.
It was good, but it was crazy. But that followed more along like almost like your witchy stuff, your coven, that kind of
Yeah,
that kind of
very
thing.
type of people trying to
Oh
resurrect
yeah,
type of thing.
that did, and along Midsummer did the same. I know he didn't do Midsummer, but it gave me the same vibe.
Yeah, but Midsommar was weird as shit, and you know that.
It was weird, but it was good. I mean, it kept you staring at the TV. I mean, it did for me. I was recommended that by one of my friends, Nathan. He recommended it for me to watch, and I sat and watched it, and I was like, thanks, because I wouldn't even, if I just went off of the brief second on the trailer or just the picture that you see when you're scrolling through, I would have skipped it. I would have completely skipped it.
So funny story about that movie. I watched it for the first time like in 2019. I was on my first deployment and I was working on an aircraft carrier. So once those jets start going, like you can't hear anything. So we were trying to watch the TV while there's jets roaring up one deck up. And so we couldn't hear anything the movie was saying. We were just trying to watch and figure out what this was. Because there's like all these girls crying, they're like, you know that scene?
Yeah.
And we're trying to figure out, it's like, what's going on? And then finally, when we can hear what they're saying, it made even less sense. So I think that's what fucked me up, is that I was watching it and I'm like, okay, well, this is even worse than watching it without sound. I don't understand. So I think I just need to give it another real go around and watch it, like, you know, in the comforts of my home rather than on a flight deck. So
Man, the bear barbecue is what had me.
the big suit and paralyzed, like, oh god.
The bear barbecue. That's it's just like,
Bear.
oh my god.
You know it's gonna be good barbecue if it's bear
Yeah.
barbecue.
I mean, that's slow roasted right there. Guaranteed to fall off the bone.
Not the pot roast.
No, I liked it. It was good. Skinamarink, I tried to watch. I don't know if you've seen that. It's been they have it on streaming. It's supposed to be another one that's supposed to be like Possession, and they did that shitty recording from like the 90s, you know, where it's the grainy video and stuff like that. I couldn't get into it. I got like maybe half hour, 40 minutes into it, and it just wasn't hitting it.
I feel like I can't speak for directors and producers and stuff because obviously I'm not either of those things. But I feel like it's just very hard to nail a good possession movie. You know, it's overplayed, it's getting overdone, and people aren't just getting the right element.
Well, it's not only that. If you're going to do the whole 90s and commit and do that kind of shooting with the grainy video and stuff like that, the one that kind of paved the way from that was the Blair Witch.
Oh, yeah.
So I expect that kind of like, even their stuff wasn't really grainy all the time, but this one was. And so I was just, when I have to like be in front of like the 70-inch TV screen to try to make out whatever's going across, like I lose interest.
Yeah.
But no, go ahead.
I was just saying there's a difference between 90s grainy video and then you just make a terrible.
Yeah. And that's how this was. Like, you really had to put work in to try to realize what you were trying to watch. Yeah. But it's one of those ones where, like, the trailer sells you. But when you want, like, how you felt with No One Will Save You. Like, the trailer brings you in. And then when you watch it, you're kind of like, I just wasted time.
Yeah.
You know, the trailer in itself, I mean, it actually scared me a little bit because they did that distorted voice, like the demon voice. Always gets me. Like I either get excited or depending on the what is that, the octave, I either get excited or I get like
terrified.
Like, oh, time to go poop. You know, like, one of those. But before I forget, I mentioned this to Mo and I actually commented on it. She posted about a movie coming out. I think I mentioned to you about the Hell House movies.
I think so.
They have the original. They have which is based at the hotel, and then they have another one where like they return to the Abaddon Hotel, and then they have the third one called Lake of Fire. And I watched the third one. Everyone's different on how they believe things. Maybe it's a weird coincidence, but every time I've watched that movie, after I'm done with the movie, all my electronics start going off and lights in the fucking house. I'm sorry, Facebook, you can edit me, wave me, whatever. It is weird, and I don't understand it. So they're coming out with a fourth one to add to their franchise, which kind of explains everything, like the origin of what all happened there at that hotel. And it's all demonic, all that stuff. But they did it really well on how they did these movies. I would have to say, huh?
You said it's called the Abaddon Hotel?
Well, the location of it is at the Abaddon Hotel. But it's actually called Hell House, LLC. That's the first movie.
That makes a lot of sense because Abaddon in the book of Revelations in the Bible is like pretty much like a pit to hell.
Mm-hmm. That's
So I'm
how
like, huh?
this is. They explain it in the third one, like a fire, and they got more nitty gritty when it came to stuff that ties in with that stuff. Like
Hmm.
your I don't know how to word it properly without getting censored, but the evil side of things, they go in more detail.
Yeah.
And I don't know if like there's stuff that they've said in there that actually resonates. You know what I mean? That actually there's some truth to it. But I am hand to God. Every time I watch that movie, stuff gets weird around the house, literally within seconds. So weird. And like the last time I watched it, kids weren't home. Ryan was at work. Dogs were outside because I put them out like 15, 20 minutes before the movie.
Right.
And I'm laying on the couch watching it. And it ends, it goes to credits. All of a sudden, my son's electronics in his room go off. My daughter's room goes off. The light in the kitchen comes on. And I'm like looking around. I'm like, oh no, we're not doing this. So they're coming out with the fourth one that is the origins, explains of why all this stuff is happening at that location.
Okay.
Like I told her, will I watch it? Absolutely. Will I have a rosary and holy water in my hand? Absolutely. Like,
Right.
sage on hand to sage the house. Because I don't like everyone's different on their belief stuff. Everyone that knows I do tarot cards, I mess with Ouija boards, I go ghost hunting, I do all that stuff. I find all that stuff fascinating. You know this. I talk to you about it, here and there. But I feel like there's some things that you just don't really mess with because they can push back. And as much as I'm curious, I don't want, you know, I don't want to be possessed. I don't want to feel like,
No, I
even
get
though
you.
I think most demons would probably jump in and be like, "You are old and miserable, and we're just gonna jump out and find somebody else."
You know what? We had fun with this one. We're just gonna go.
Yeah, they're like, it was a nice 5 seconds. We're out.
Yeah, because I've had like weird shit happen in my house before, and I don't entertain it because I'm like, one, there's either a rational explanation for what I heard, or two, it doesn't scare me, I guess, you know? So I feel like when spooky shit does happen in my house, they usually move on because because they can see I'm not entertained whatsoever by any of it.
Well, at the old house, we had more stuff happening than I care to like. Um, I know when you ghost hunt, I collect, I collect weird shit. I've
Right.
had people give me stuff that's supposedly, um, haunted, and I'm fine with that too. I was shown how the proper way to do all that stuff, which is fine. But if it's things outside the realm of my normal, that's when I get a little standoffish, and a lot of it is because, you have a significant other in the house. I have a significant other. I, loved ones in the house. You try to protect them, so that's where I get a little sketchy on certain things, and um, that kind of stuff. That's outside my realm. So I'm more like, let's just, where's the salt? Where's the brick dust? Let's sage.
And you got a Glock in the other.
I've seen. Have you seen some of the ghost movies where like they're walking in with a gun, and I'm like, they're already dead.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Like,
What is the end result here? Like, you didn't kill him twice? Like,
what do you do? Like shoot at the air? Like hit a vital organ?
yeah. Like, are they
Uh,
magical bullets? Like, I don't get it. I see that there's some people on and watching. What kind of movies are you guys looking forward to watching for when it comes to Halloween stuff? God, I can't talk. I'm like stroking out on live.
guys, not clickbait. We're gonna monopolize off this so quick.
Let's hope so. See what they say. Let me see. Kevin said, "Oh my god! At first sight, I give up talking. At first sight, I thought that was Chelsea's sister Danielle. Okay, I don't know what the
Do I look
reference
like
is.
Mr. Daniel?
You don't look like a Danielle, or you don't look. Maybe it's. I don't know. Who knows? Moving on. Leah said hashtag spooky shit. Hey Leah, and she said I have learned that when Lace is sketched out, we pop fucking smoke, which is true. If I'm uncomfortable, it's time to go. It's time to go. She's been with me on some of that stuff. Well, I mean, I don't know. Everyone has their own things and their belief system, and that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Um, me personally, like there's like I said, there's some things I just won't mess with. I'm curious. I like to read. I've always tried to get my hands on like demonology books and stuff like that. I feel like you can never learn too much.
Hmm.
But when it comes to that stuff, it's outside of my realm, So if I feel like the littlest bit of like some super evil shit, I'm like later,
I
like
feel
have
that.
fun. I'm like
I don't.
peace out.
I don't really believe in that stuff, so I don't know. I think it's crazy because like a lot of that stuff doesn't really affect me, and I think part of it is that if it is real, me not believing in it kind of like helps it not be real for me. I
Well, that's
guess.
what they say a lot for like I want to say your hoodoo and voodoo religions. If you believe in it, then it's easier. You know what I mean? Then you'll be able to see those things. But if you don't really believe in it, then it's easy to be like, well, And I get it. A lot of things I do come up with a rational explanation first. I don't jump to, oh my god, it's a ghost, or oh my god, it's a demon, or most of the time when it is something I can't explain, I don't even say that. I just laugh and I say, well, that was weird, and I go about my business.
Yeah.
Let me
No,
see.
I'm just
Oh,
I don't know. And to me, it's like if you don't believe in it, then it's not really effective. Then to me, it'd be like, well, if I don't believe in it, it should just be real, right? That's
if you
just
don't
my.
believe in it, it can't hurt you.
It's not even that. It's more of like I kind of lose credibility when it's like, okay, I don't believe in it, so it doesn't affect me. However, if it was real, wouldn't it be like it should still affect me even though I don't believe in it?
Makes sense. You make a valid point. And
Yeah.
Leah said the same thing. If you're leaving yourself open for it, you're leaving yourself open to those when you believe in it. It's basically the best way I can explain it to everybody is when you play a Ouija board. Not like everybody does. Not everyone's weird like me and collects them and all that stuff. But when you do, it's opening a door to let anything and everything in. And I think the popular misconception is people think it's going to focus on one focal point, one person, or whatever, or they think they're going to get like Casper the Friendly Ghost to come through on the board. And that's not the case. It's much like a revolving door into a mall. It's open for everybody. It's an
Mm.
open door that anyone, and if you allow yourself to be open, that's when anything can come in. And I do, you do make a valid point. Like if it is real, then it shouldn't matter whether you believe in it or not. It should be able to affect you. But at the same time, there may be little things that could be affecting you, but you just don't really know. I'm just throwing it out there.
I
You
have
know,
been breaking out a lot lately, so it's a ghost for sure.
Leah mentioned that stuff like that feeds off your energy. So if you're investing your belief into something, it can become more tangible because you're making deposits.
Okay. So kind of in your way.
Yeah. I know like years ago I was very into well, I've told you and I'm like, oh, I caught this picture and I sent you like pictures of weird stuff
There's
that I've gotten or whatever. Yeah. I was
I'm
into it
gonna
a lot, but then go ahead.
go use the restroom real quick.
Oh, go ahead. I'm gonna put you on a thing here.
All right, bet.
All right. It'll just be me for the moment. Let's see. What do we got? Leah, how was your Saturday? Read some of these. I don't know. See what it says. He has to poop. He might be. No, I think he'll be back shortly. I ran before it started, but I'm pretty sure by the time I get done with like my big ass thing of water, I'll probably have to run to the bathroom. But we should be wrapping it up here soon anyway, so that works out. It's got to get better at some point. I mean, tomorrow's Sunday, so it should be a little bit. I would hope it would be a little bit less busy for you. Oh, and we're back. Hey,
Sorry,
welcome back.
thank you.
That's fine. No big deal. Um, where were we? Ghost, that kind of stuff. That's right. Um, and I was there and I lost it. Oh, back then, really into it. And that's when I realized there was a lot of stuff going on that probably shouldn't have been going on. But I think at the end of the day, I welcomed it into my home by doing those things and not really closing out properly and taking stuff on without knowing the proper ways to have those barricades up, like protection.
Yeah.
Now I do stuff, but within reason. And I, the thing that gets me is a lot of people see like your ghost shows, and you think that right when you get out there, you're going to get something, and it's always going to be a demon. That's not the case. It cracks me up. Like there's times where like we've done ghost hunts and nothing. But anyhow, have you done anything like that? Ghost hunting, anything like that?
No, and it kind of goes back to the whole I don't believe in that stuff, so I feel like I would be wasting my time. Like, no offense, like that's just the way that I feel. Like it feel like I'd be going out in vain. However, one of the the creepiest, spookiest things I've done in the past before was one time a couple of friends of mine and I we went hiking, and the trailhead that we were at, when we left it, we noticed there was a cemetery like close by to it. It was like September-ish time. And for some reason, I just so happened to have a Ouija board in the back of my car, and I'm like, "Hey guys, let's go to the cemetery and play with the Ouija board. See if we like pick anything up." And we did, and nothing really happened. So I was just kind of like, "Okay, I kind of knew it was a crock, but whatever."
That's cool that you just had it like just hanging out in the back of the car, like, "Hey."
Yeah, I made a frame out of it. Ended up taking, you know how like it's the decal on the front of the board.
Yeah.
And putting it on like a piece of paper, and I framed it, and I was hanging in my room. It looks really pretty. That's really all it's there for. I mean, nothing has happened since.
I mean, you have to actually participate in it to get it to happen, and with that in particular, it is a belief thing. Since you don't believe in that, it kind of the door's not open, so you're fine.
Okay. Well, even when I haven't believed in stuff, like I still like the other day, for example, I was downstairs taking a nap on the couch, and I have a baseball that chills like on top of one of my shelves, and I wake up because I hear thunking, like thunk 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 down the stairs, and I wake up, I'm like, what is that? And so I go upstairs, and I'm like, okay, well, nothing up here. So I go back downstairs, and I notice that baseball is down in the corner, like right by the stairs. And I'm like, so this baseball rolled down here by itself. And I'm like, well, that's kind of weird because that baseball chills on the top of my shelf in my room. So it must have had like to either come down off a shelf, roll out of my room, and roll down the stairs. And I thought that was super weird, but I never really gave it too much thought, and nothing happened after that. So I'm like, there's got to be a reasonable explanation, or this poltergeist is gonna make me mad, and I'm gonna get the Glock and the safe, and he's get out because I'm not here for roommates right now.
Like rent's due on the 1st.
Right? It's like you can stay here, but just don't make me mad because I'll get rid of you. You will get evicted.
No, I don't. Well, there's things you can do with that. We can talk about that, not on the live. But I like collecting them. I sought out and got an original one from the 70s. Love it. My husband on Christmas got me the Elvira one. Love that too. And there's some other ones that I have one that I've made myself that I don't really put out because it's just me. It was during a time that I was younger. Leah may or may not know because she was around me at the time. But I have that one, and there's some other antique ones that I want to get. My whole end game on that is I want to have a wall dedicated in my dining room or my living room to all those hanging up on the wall, along with the planchettes next to it. That's my goal, but we'll see what happens as time goes on. Right now, they're just nicely put away. But I don't really I don't sit there and dust out the old Ouija board,
Yeah.
and place stuff. It's more of a collector's thing.
I feel like you've come a long way with it because I remember you had your cool little end table that had the board on the top, and it looked really
I still
dope.
have that.
And you're like, this doesn't go in the house. It stays
It's in-
out here.
It's in the house. It's actually in my living room at one of the ends of the couches. I have actually one of my haunted dolls that I got from one of my neighbors. It's sitting on top of it.
One of the haunted. Well, what was the story that was given to you with the doll?
It's
Curious.
every time I get something like that, it's the same. It's stuff is moving around in the house. You hear voices. Just your typical stuff. So I don't know if they just say that to do like the allure of it, or if it is something that generally scares them, and they're just like, "Here, you look weird. Take this." Um,
Headache, take this.
well, I mean, I'm pretty open with a lot of stuff. Anyone that knows, like, I'm very, with you, Mia, Mo, like a handful of people, like when I get something creepy or I'm excited, I'm the first one sending you guys a picture or FaceTiming you and be like, look at this,
That's
so it's not really anything that's hidden. The only thing I do know is that like outside of like a live or like when I would live stream and I'd had like last year, I had all like the oddities and stuff behind me. Unless you see that, then you're not really gonna know,
right.
But for the most part, it's a small town that I live in. Everybody knows, I'd be stupid to think that I'm not weird. Like anyone that it's a small town. Everyone knows that.
Weird.
I'm the creepy girl. I'm the bruja here. Whatever. Not really.
Right. Out into the desert and does rituals.
I had someone think that. When I did my first outdoor, I don't know what the heck it was called. Remember, I did two of them where we were out at the desert. One was an alien-related one, and the other one was like scary stories or shit like that, where like everyone would camp out at the desert overnight. I hired a DJ for the first time out there for the first event, and I actually sat down and had lunch with the DJ to get everything worked out. Do the deposit, do all that stuff, and they asked me point blank, "Are you doing any ritual sacrifices?" I was like,
"The chicken in front of me."
I'm like, "I'm sorry," and they were like, "No, we don't think that you are, but we've seen some of your posts. Some of we've known you for a little bit, so we just wanted to ask because if you are, we really would like." And I respect where they were coming from. It's not going to hurt to ask, but it definitely threw me for a loop because I wasn't expecting that. But I did mess with them when they got out there. I was like, I was just kidding, right? Like, you see that big spit that they're bringing over, like, we're roasting one of you tonight.
That's funny. Become an insight, guys. That's cool.
Yeah, but no, it's, I don't know, like, and they may not, some of them may not, but the one in particular that's on that Ouija board, it looks creepy. I wouldn't be surprised if it's possessed. If you have a minute, I can go grab it and show everybody. And you want to see it?
Yeah.
You want to see it? All right, hold on. I'll be right back.
All right. We are on commercial break until Lacey gets back with her doll. Look how spooky it is. I'm going through all these.
All right, and I'm back. And I brought two.
Oh, two.
This one's the first one that I was telling you about.
That's some Five Nights at Freddy's.
It's very old. Very old school.
Okay.
It used to be electronic, but it was like an old advertisement for back in like I want to say probably the late 50s, early 60s.
Okay.
It has like little rabbits on it, the little toggle to turn it on and off, little thing underneath it. It's losing some of its stuff, but this is one of them that sits on top of the Ouija board table.
Mm-hmm.
I just think the eyes are adorable because it's me after my first cup of coffee. I look spun out. This one is actually on the Ouija board too, but this one isn't. We got it at Ronnie got it for me at along with a bunch of them, and you've seen them in the house because I have like the different masks. They're all from Ghana, and this one was actually carved out of a gourd. I don't know if you remember seeing this one.
I feel like I do remember. Yep.
Yeah, and I think they're cute. People that have been in my house, they get a little creeped out, but you know, it is what it is.
Comes with the territory.
Yeah, it comes with the territory. I mean, out of everything, I would expect people to get more creeped out over my wet specimens that I have in the house, other than, you know, a carved doll. I mean, I think they're neat, but teach their own. But yeah, that one, I mean, the looks, the aesthetic of it, I would say if it is, it more than likely could be possessed. You know, I haven't had anything since I've had it, but I'm not going out of my way to, you know, make shit happen. You know.
Yeah, that gourd one definitely looks like a little hoodoo voodoo type of probably possessed maybe doll looking type of thing. I dig it though.
Well, cool. I know in some cultures they'll do that, like how you have your voodoo dolls and stuff like that. Some cultures would do that when it's a person that they don't like or they want to get revenge. They'll actually put their energy into carving a doll, you know, to kind of do the likeliness of that person or whatever. I've never been to actually get an accurate date on these dolls to find out, you know, because that's not the only one I have. I got them out of a storage unit sale. Ronnie did, and it was like a box of just miscellaneous, really cool stuff that you don't really see every day.
Right.
But there wasn't really any information to really go on. I do know that some stuff has a bad vibe to it. Not the stuff that I have, but they have vendors that come down that sell stuff similar to this, and they have masks. And I've always wanted like the big carved wooden mask that you get over there, from Ghana. And some of them are just a no-go, and that's a whole nother territory that I'm not familiar with, so I don't even try tempting it.
Just feels a little for
the reproduction. Well, yeah, because you don't know the person's intent when they're making stuff. It's kind of, again, it goes a belief system. It's aim, and you make anything. If you put a lot of negative energy in it, odds are that item's going to hold that and resonate that negative energy. So
that's interesting.
Just depends on what you believe in.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah,
I'm not close my point where I'm not gonna, you know, budge at evidence, but I'm also not, you know, like so open.
No, I get it, and I'm older now, where like I'm not going out of my way to try to see if what's real and what's not. You know, if I get a bad vibe, that's cool, man. You can keep your nice mask. I'm gonna move on.
I have that sixth sense because I don't know. I've never had that experience of feeling vibes off something or someone type of thing. I mean, I guess with people it's a little easier, you know. It's like people you get along with a little better. But like,
well, I think it just depends. It really depends on things and how open you are for stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I don't know. Like a prime example that I can give you. I've been in the Haunted Museum in Vegas. I thought it was a big spook. I even told you about it. I thought that it was full of crap. I didn't believe it. Like the items were probably cool, but I didn't think there was anything really haunted or spooky or anything that's going to rock your core. And I wanted to go because I was skeptical, and I was proven wrong. There's stuff that he has in there that does have a lot of power and is very haunted, and a lot of the stuff is very evil. And I was impressed. I'm not going to lie. I was impressed. I was in there within 10 minutes and got shoved. You know, 10 minutes. And the thing that tripped me out is what I was reading when I got shoved. He actually had copies of Anton LaVey's Doctrine enclosed. And anyone that's familiar, I like to read both. Like I was saying earlier, I feel like you can't have one without the other. I want to know as much as I can from both sides, you know, and they're the cults and all that stuff. I just wanted to let it all sink in, you know. As I'm reading it, I got shoved. And I stepped back. I kind of laughed a little bit. You're not supposed to chew gum in there. Sorry, everybody. And whoever reads this, I did. I had some that I snuck in because that balances me out when stuff like that happens. Popped in some gum. Huh?
But why aren't you allowed to chew gum in there?
they don't want anything messed up, and I understand that. A lot of the
Oh,
stuff that he has is the original stuff, and it's dark. They don't want anything getting, people take their gum out and stick it places. It's kind of like when you go to the restaurant and you go to put your hand on the table and there's gum on the table. I would
yeah.
imagine that's what it's about. Is that they just don't want the shit messed up. But yeah, I put that in and I was like, here we go, let's do this. I was ready. And some of the rooms, nothing. Other rooms, the one that gave me the worst vibe was Ed Gein's pot that they had. They had his actual big old kettle pot. And I didn't stay in there for very long. I walked in, felt sick to my stomach, walked right out.
Wow. You
Um,
really Texas Chainsaw Massacre related, don't you?
I think it's stuff, and I don't, and this is where it's more reality than it is a ghost, in my opinion, especially with
Mhm.
this particular one. You seen that this was true evil. This person was genuinely a person that just wasn't right. So he literally killed these people and put them in this pot. So if you have empathy, you can kind of see, like, not see that, like, visualize it, but you understand, like, there were dead people in there. I really don't want to be around that. It makes me uncomfortable. I think it's more of that than it is there's ghosts in there. You know,
God,
I think with that instance, it was more logical that that was the case, is that it was just a lot of reality real fast staring at you in the face. And you could either, I guess, hang out and bask in it, or you can walk away. I chose to walk away.
that's totally fair. Okay.
But there's, there was one in there instance that I couldn't explain, and I actually talked to one of the people that worked there, and told them about it after the fact. And that was. Do you have a time crunch? Because I know that we're kind of going a little bit past the hour.
Nope.
Oh, you're good. Okay. Um, we were in Dr. Kevorkian's room,
Uh-huh.
and apparently they had a room next door that was under renovations. They were getting ready to reveal it like weeks later.
Okay.
Well, I put my hand up on the wall because I was fixing my shoe. I felt the wall breathe. Like how you take a deep breath and breathe out. You can feel your chest rise and go back. I felt that. I brought my hand down and I was shaking my hand. I'm like, you're just losing it, Lace. You're drinking the Kool-Aid and you're not, I
You're
mean,
like,
I'm not saying
I
this. There's
in
like
it.
a crowd of like 10 other people in there, and I actually had both my sisters there. Leah and Tanya were there because we all went and did that experience. So I waited a few minutes as they were talking and they were showing the different things, which were really cool, by the way. I put my hand back on the wall again. I got the same thing, but I seen some stuff that I didn't understand. So afterwards, I actually got to talk to one of the people that worked there via the phone,
Mhm.
and told them about it. Come to find out, it's when they were actually in the process of revealing one of the chairs. It was like a demon chair or something like that, and they
Okay.
were working on it. But it was 2 weeks out before they could do it. So they thought that I snuck into the room, and I'm like, "You can watch your cameras." I didn't leave. Like I was in there the whole time. But it was just weird because stuff like that doesn't happen often, but every once in a while it will happen. And I
Right.
just think there was so much energy around that item that it wasn't able to be contained in that room. And then finding out later on, they had people passing out that were walking through that exhibit when they did. So they ended up having to close that exhibit down. Like there was a lot of things going on between the tour guides, people in there. Like they were literally coming out, and ambulance had to be there. Like there was too much going on. So they ended up having to cut it.
That's crazy.
But yeah, it doesn't happen. Like I said, it doesn't happen often, but every once in a while stuff like that happens. I don't understand it. You know what I mean? Like I don't know why, but it's just happens. So
Does it get overwhelming for you ever?
it drains your energy. You
Okay.
get tired. I know when we came back after leaving, that stuff had to have come back to our hotel room because we weren't even in the hotel room for 5 minutes. The lights were freaking out. It was a mess. I was laughing because I figured something like that was you can't walk into something like that and not expect to have something follow you. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like when you
Diane.
sign, they make you sign like a lot of papers before you go in, like waivers, like you're signing shit away. They're not responsible if anything happens to you, yeah. And I can understand because some of the stuff they have in there, like that's some spooky stuff, You know,
Yeah.
they have the Dybbuk box in there. I wasn't even going to try to mess with. That's a whole nother level of crazy that I did not want to be a part of. You know, no, no. I don't know much about that, the Jewish religion and the whole things that tie with the Dybbuk box. I just did not want to mess with it. I've watched too many movies. I've read too many things. Like that's a whole nother level of whatever. I mean, it was cool to see from a distance. I mean, they have it in a glass cage, but they even tell you not to touch the case at all. You're supposed to stand back at this designated area that they have taped off. And that's fine. I'll just look from the doorway. That was my thing. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
that's cool. Move on to the next.
Close. I'm good.
Yeah, no. I would recommend it to anyone that wants to go through and have that whole like experience. You know, I mean, the show, it's not bad. Entertainment value, you know. Do I believe that they catch ghosts every time they go out? No, that's just my personal opinion. But the stuff that he has there, definitely legit. I would recommend. You know,
Definitely hold some weight. Yeah, I remember you telling me about it when you went. You were like, dude, it was crazy. I'm like, okay, I'll have to check in Vegas.
You should. I know they do stuff during Halloween time. One day, eventually, 1 year during Halloween, I'll make my way out there during Halloween. Because they have stuff where you can do like seances in their basement.
No shit.
I would be down to do that.
Yeah, you want to see a table floating around?
I want to see ectoplasm coming out of someone's mouth. Like, I want to see the old school 1930s and 40s seance shit. I want to see the real deal. Not
Everybody-
some cotton ball crap coming out of their mouth.
Oh yeah, haunting in Connecticut type of thing.
I want to see some Ellen Renbauer stuff.
Right. Like we need spirit boards and everybody holding their hands on the table, you know, so we can levitate.
Yeah, they've had some supposedly where like their chairs lift up, the table lifts up. Like, that'd be interesting.
I guess that's
I
why
don't
they.
think it would come out the same person after seeing something like that, though.
No, I feel like if you don't come back with something out of certain experiences, then you kind of did it in vain. You gained nothing, I should say.
Yeah. I think it would be interesting to do, but I think for me personally, I'd probably come out and probably not be as adamant on collecting certain items.
I could see why that would shake you for sure.
Yeah. It'd be, I don't know. I've only had one thing that actually like kind of left me a little perplexed, and that was a long time ago when we first moved back here. The house that we were staying at, we didn't find out till later the lady passed away. She didn't pass away in the house, but she passed away and her ashes were spreaded in the freaking driveway. So
Great.
That was awesome to find out. Yeah. Like awesome. But we had little chihuahuas at the time. And we'd always put them in the laundry room, but the hallway would be open and they had like their little balls. Well, other times when they were out on the porch, it's fenced in, they can't get in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Long story short, their balls would literally come out of the laundry room, roll down into the living room.
Like my baby.
Yeah, like how that's not, I don't understand, you know? So I've tried, like when I lived there, I was like trying to push the ball to see what would happen, you know, different ways to try to debunk it, you know?
Trying to be rad.
Yeah, because in the back of your mind, you're like, if this is legit, you are a little scared because you don't understand it, and that's the point. That's how you get scared, because it's something you can't explain. Couldn't replicate it. Couldn't figure it out. I would have it hit the other wall, and they would kind of like bounce back into the other wall, but it wouldn't perfectly come down like an L. And I couldn't, like, it didn't hit the wall and come. It literally just rolled out. Couldn't explain it.
Mm-hmm.
Then fast forward to like a month or so later. The ball was in the vents, like the duct vents. They're screwed down. You have to take a screwdriver, yeah, you know, like the electronic ones, to get them out. The kids are toddlers. They don't, you know, one couldn't even crawl yet. So like, I didn't understand how they were in there, how they got in there. Yeah. So it was just really weird. We had someone come over, and that is clairvoyant, can see things, you know, and stuff like that. And I didn't like what she was telling me at all. It creeped me out and made me mad. And I didn't. Well, yeah, because she's telling me that there's a lady in the house, but it's a younger lady, and she doesn't like me, and that she would watch me when I was in the shower. She would stand over by the bed. Rude. So, yeah. I was just like, okay, you know, and there's times where anyone feels like they're being watched, but I think a lot of it, the time is just you're in your own head, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I was more like, is this the same person that's putting these balls, like all, you know, like moving around and putting them in the vents? Like, is this the same person? And I never got a definitive answer, but I do know after we moved, we didn't really have anything issue wise, you know, that was like that.
Crazy how stuff man like that.
Well, it's just that's the thing that trips me out is stuff like that where things just disappear and then they reappear, but they reappear in the most peculiar places that you wouldn't, you know, have them.
Yeah.
Now I'm older, my memory's crap. A lot of times it's the kids move something. They're teenagers now. They move something and I just don't remember, or I put it somewhere and I don't remember. You know?
Yeah, it's like
I mean,
nothing. My dementia.
yeah, well, pretty much. I mean, the older I get, I probably will blame a ghost just to get myself out of it. I'll be like, oh, ghosts are at it again. Damn ghouls keep getting me every time.
Actually, I do make that inside joke a lot. If I hear something it's like, oh, that darn poltergeist.
But
Gets
no,
me through.
I don't know. I like the stuff. I've seen too much to kind of think otherwise, but I'm open to it. Let's just put it that way. But I'm also respectful of it as well.
Same. Yeah. I think we could
I
see.
don't. Yeah, well, like I see on a lot of the ghost shows they go and provoke.
Yeah.
Have you seen them where they're like provoking them and they're like, "Ah, you're not gonna say this. You're just a scared ghost." I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. How would you
Well,
like it if someone came in your house, you know, and disrupted your atmosphere and then started belittling you? Like you wouldn't be happy either, you know?
yeah, I would definitely, have some stuff to say, have
Yeah.
some poltergeist energy to give for sure.
Yeah. Like we don't know
But
for sure. Like if I mean, who's to say a ghost is just chilling in their old house that they've been like that's all they've known, and they're sitting there having their ghost tea, and here comes like some meat sack in asking stupid questions, disrupting their tea time. Like you don't know.
yeah, and now I'm curious, what does ghost tea taste like? That's the real question.
We'll have to. That's out. That's still out for debate. We'll have to figure out what is ghost tea and what does it taste like.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can hear my husband in the background.
Talking
When
about ghost.
Yeah, when we're talking about what ghost tea tastes like, and he does that from that meme. He's like, "These nuts."
That never gets old. I don't care.
Yeah, has the same. That joke never gets old with him. I'll get memes sent to me from him when it has to do that. And I think it's something like hilariously awesome or something adorably cute. And it's just that kid in there laughing, saying "these nuts." Kills me. But should probably wrap it up with everybody. Everyone that's watching or will be watching, thank you. There'll be more to come. Kind of kicked off our little spooky October month. I'll be having more. Jorge, thank you for coming on and
Thank you for
spending
having.
some time. Don't leave yet. I'm going to end the stream, but I'm going to touch base with you at a few things after we're off the live. But to everyone else, have a good Saturday evening and have a happy 1st of October tomorrow. And I will catch you guys later. Bye. Love you guys. All right. Here we go.